What's everybody, Teancum here with Yeah Quilting. In this week's tutorial, we're going to show you how you make this amazing quilt using our pre-cut Vega strips. Let's get started. So before we dive right on into this, what is a Vega strip for all of our viewers out there that don't know? This is a custom pre-cut made by Yeah Quilting. It is a 6.5 inch strip by width of fabric. Think of it as a jumbo jelly roll, which allows us to make these bigger quilts, bigger blocks, and additionally show off the fabric a little bit more, which is super important to us. So let's start off by opening the package. Comes with our little free sticker. Got Santa Claus this time, kind of a cool Santa. And you can just see beautiful pieces of fabric here. And we are using this almost aged looking like a tea dye material here, which is just beautiful. And we're going to be using a good majority of these strips. Now, as always, down in the description below, there is a free PDF download or pattern there for you. That way you can follow along if you are one to read the patterns, and it helps out just to have all the measurements there as well. So we're going to first start by dicing up some of these. I'm going to take some of these reds and we're going to cut them down. So what we need to cut out of this, we need 4 6.5 by 6.5 inch squares. Luckily, this is already a 6.5 inch strip, makes that easy. And then I need 4 4-inch squares. So let me show you how you cut these. I'm first going to take off my salvage edge. And then this one has a little bit thicker of a salvage edge. It's actually got a cool print on it too, which is awesome. And then I'm going to cut 6.5 inch squares. And I'm double stacked here just for ease. Now I need to cut it one more time. I'm going to just line it up again. Now, it's going to be tight here, so make sure that you're cutting your salvage edge right on the mark. For the remaining pieces here, we're going to cut them down to 4 inches. But essentially, you'll cut off your 4 inch, and then you'll turn it again. So in that entire strip there, that is going to be a waste product. But you're going to go ahead and do that to your strips there. That way you end up with 4 6.5 inch squares, and then you'll end up with 4 4-inch squares as well. Now, let's talk about the backgrounds here. You can do this all in low volumes if you like to. A lot of different options as far as that goes. Something that's really cool here is these backgrounds. It's made out of the same stuff, which is this French General fabrics, so it gives it a really nice movement to it. As far as our background fabrics, we need 6.5 inch squares, we need some 4.5 inch squares, and then we additionally need 3.5 inch squares as well. We are going to use our 4 inch squares to make half square triangles. We're going to use our 3.5 inch squares to snowball some edges here. So let's dive into that. So to make our half square triangle, it's super simple. We're going to lay this down and we're going to mark a line corner to corner. We're going to sew on both sides of that line 1/4 inch away. Your traditional half square triangle method here. Now we're going to cut that directly in half using scissors, rotary cutter, ruler, whatever you feel comfortable with. Now we're going to go ahead and trim these to be 3.5 inch half square triangles. Super easy. I like using the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer rulers. I feel like it makes the job easy here. And you'll realize that there's a lot of repetitive numbers here, right? We went from a 4 inch to a 3.5 inch. We already have some 3.5 inch squares over there. The math on this is really, really easy. And now once we have these all cut and prepped, we're going to iron them out to make a beautiful half square triangle. And just like that, you're going to have these beautiful half square triangles. Now, the next step to this is we're going to just match these with some of these 3.5 inch squares, just like so. Super simple. Sew these together. And what's really nice about this, since we have lights and darks here, pretty much everything can be ironed to the dark side on this one. Makes it super easy. Got iron to the dark side again. Now you noticed here that all of my pieces here, I put the red on the right side with the diagonal going from the bottom left to the top right. That is because when I turn this around, they make this nice little point here, which is going to be the point that you see right there. We're going to go ahead and sew these together. On this particular seam here, I'm going to go ahead and open that seam. And guys, come on, look at the center, right? This is the opposite of the quilt police, when you show everyone that your point is just on point on that one there. Beautiful, beautiful block here. Now we're gonna repeat this exact same process 3 more times to make essentially our cornerstones of our block here. Super easy to do. I'll do that off camera here. Now it's time to move on to the next block. So guys, just like the half square triangles, we're doing pretty much the same thing. I've got 3.5 inch squares here. I've already drawn a line diagonally across. Doesn't matter which way your diagonal is on this one. The only thing that matters is we're gonna lay this down on top of our red piece here. That is a 6.5 by 6.5 square. And I'm gonna sew directly on my line this time. We're snowballing the edges, which simply means I'm changing out this top corner of red to be white. I like to use a ruler for this one personally because I want to make sure I'm cutting 1/4 inch away from that seam that I just sewed. I'll cut that off. And then I am going to open up this fold here. And then I want to make sure I'm ironing to the dark side as always, just like that, right? Now, doing the exact same thing, I just have to make sure that my diagonal line here is pointing to the top right corner on this one. I'm going to sew directly on that line once more. Just like before, use that ruler to cut off 1/4 inch away from that seam. And I'm going to iron this out. We've got block 1, block 2. Simplest blocks that you can make. 2 snowball edges, 2 flying geese. Super simple here. I'm going to make 3 more of these and 3 more of these like I just said. Then I'll have all my pieces to construct my block. Now we're at the point of sewing this block together. Easiest way to remember how to do this, we're going to slap that white 6.5 inch square that we cut earlier, and then we're going to make a star, right? Easy traditional block here. To make sure our orientation is right, we are going to fill in this square here with white, just like so. Now it's time to start sewing. I went ahead and sewed my blocks into rows. Now it's time to sew those rows together. Now it's time to give this a good iron. So guys, at this point, you should have a beautiful block here, okay? Using these Vegas strips makes these jumbo-sized blocks and gives you beautiful coloring with collections and much more there. So at this point, you're gonna make a bunch of these, and we just sewed them in to each other, right? No stashing, no borders, nothing, okay? Just a simple construction of the quilt itself. And guys, with that, we hope that you've enjoyed this week's tutorial. Make sure you check out our website, yeahquilting.com. It's also down in the description below. You can pick up yourself some Vegas strips there as well. Just a new fun way to do this amazing craft. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.